don't believe so. Okay. We're going to look at code examples. And let's see here. Okay. Now we're going to look at code examples here. Some of this where I looked at, I realized that if I didn't have time to recreate every code example we run across in this book. This one we have string path, and then we got the at, and then the location of the file. And here's how you check for the existence of a file. So file.exists, and then the path, and that'll return true or false. And then from there you can open the file up or do whatever's appropriate. Could be rename it to a backup file. Now I think you have to have this, to be honest. Let's see. Copy that if it'll let me. Or it won't. That's weird. But when you're opening a file, you have to have exception handling. So you have a catch down there of the different things that would potentially happen. Here again, we have our file. We do a file.readAllText with path name. And let me actually put that in. Austin, I won't be done until 4 o'clock with this class. Oh, so let's see. Get rid of that. Create a file. Okay. Testing 2, testing 3. C drive, and then temp test.txt. And string path equals C:temp test.txt. Try. And string s is equal to file.readAllText. Says opens a text file, reads all lines of the file, then closes the file. So this does it all at once. But it'll give you an error if you don't put a catch in here. And these are meant to handle the things that might occur. For example, directory not found exception. Now, if you just do a generic catch like that, well, it doesn't really handle anything, except for it doesn't give you an error. I'll close that. Okay, so no errors there. I'll write that back out to this list box 1. List box 1 dot items dot add s. I'll run that. And see, it reads in the entire file. Now the line breaks I put in there in Notepad, it didn't recognize those, but this is when you do it all at once. Now, the thing about catches, whenever you do an exception handling, in probably just not this package, but a lot of different packages, I will sometimes just force it to blow up. It's easier. And oh, I got a catch in there. I remember how to put the exception in there. Exception E, I think. Declared but never used. And then box 1 dot items dot add E dot to string. See if that works. Let's see. Parentheses. Local or can I produce this? His name is I don't know, local. Thought it would let me do that. Mouse event arguments. I'm about to print the error message now. Oh well. Not gonna remember it. But when you got the exception right here, like directory not found exception, that's programmed in. That's just a generic exception there. Or, but let me do exception. This is, I guess, an easier way than trying to get just blow up directory not found. Then that tells you it's a directory not found exception. And you can program that however. Catch exception. file not found exception. And so let me just drop these list box one dot items dot add directory not found, and then this one list box one dot items dot add file not found. So that tells us directory not found. Now, if the directory is there, but maybe the file's not, let's see what that gives us. Tells us file not found. Okay, communicating over the network. Part of work with ASP.NET is it gets to the point where you're writing a web application, and so you have to have these right here, like a web request created by using a static create method and a web request class. Create method inspects the address you pass to it, and then selects the correct protocol implementation. If you pass it the website, for example, it's got the HTTP protocol, and it would return HTTP web request. After creating the correct web request, you can set other properties such as authentication or caching instructions. Web request equals web request.create, and then got that. And then a response is, let's actually look at these. Web request request equals web request dot create http www.microsoft.com. Yeah, which one do we want? Using system.net, I believe. That brings in our using up here, system.net. And response, web response equals request dot get response. Stream reader response stream equals new stream reader response dot get response stream. And string response text equals to response stream dot read to end. And then list box one dot items dot add response text. And let that add to HTML unless it's just bringing a lot back. Let me run it again with a smaller web page. Okay, there it goes. So it adds in all the HTML. This is if you were building your own engine of some sort. Like Google goes through and indexes the keywords. If you are building your own, then you could use this type of concept. Now, Cali, and then see about, and employee directory. Now, behind the scenes, there's the mail to jim.ailey.edu. So I'm going to use this to play with. That didn't work real well. Let's try it again. Get rid of that. Okay. That brings in our web page. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go through and create some kind of program that would strip off all the email addresses. So maybe I'm trying to create a program to harvester for email addresses. And there's easier ways than doing this, but I just want to show working with strings and so forth. If I view page source, I'm going to see a certain pattern to my mail to. Let's see, Control F, mail to. Okay, so starts off with mail to colon. So I want to find those, and then I'm going to strip off from that position on to until the double quote. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, so I got it in response text. I'm putting something a little simpler like S. And I'm going to do a INT index. This is going to be the position of the next mail to. And so, let's see, that's equal to 0 initially, I guess, the first part of that. And not equal to 0. S dot. This will bring up all of our different functions. There's one that's index of. Reports the zero base index of the first occurrence specified unit, blah, blah, blah. So we want to choose that one. And now mail to, it says, looks like is lowercase. Now I'll go with that, but we would have to handle that if they put in uppercase. Now that should get our first position of our mail to. So I'm going to say while. Now if it doesn't find it at all, then it should return a -1, I believe. So while index is greater than -1. Now I'm at play with this because it's been a while since I wrote one of these email harvesters. They're kind of fun to play with. Okay, so that's going to get our first one. And now, after that is I got my current position of index. So I'm going to have an integer start, and I'll have an integer end. Start string and end string. My start string is going to equal to index plus 1. Because if my index is pointing at what would we point at? M. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to point to 7. Like that. And then from there, I need to find the closing double quote. So index is equal to s dot index of, and it's got some overloads. Index of, I think it's just a string and then a number. Yeah, that's it. So then I'll do my string value. I'm looking for a double quote. How do I put double quote in there? Let's try this. Comma, and the starting index should be my start string, which would be where the M is. Yeah, that should work. Or actually won't be, because I just added could be the old position of index. Okay, so then now I need to retrieve that. So listbox1 dot items dot add s dot substring of, and I'm not very good with strings. It takes me a while. The starting index, which is start string, comma, and the length would be my end string minus start string. I think minus 1. We'll go with that. Okay, but really, for the that'll find my I don't remember putting that double colon there, but there. Okay, so that'll return my end string equals index. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to say index is equal to -1 because I want to get out of that. Save that, run that. And it finds almost my first email address. I'm assuming that Appshare is the first one. It cut off a U. Which means I'd want to, instead of -1, I think I want it this way, like that. Okay. Now let me run it. Okay. So I got my first email off of that. And see, this is something I could put into an ASP.NET program directly, and I could have it to harvest email addresses. If I put the recursion in there, so it can recursively go through every web page on a website, then it would gather all of them. Now, I show this just so you're aware from a computer science standpoint of how should a web page should be designed. I'm not putting this out here so that you'll write harvesters to harvest email addresses. Okay, that was just one. I wanted to find all of them, which means I'm looking for mail to. So here I want my index to be my s dot index of, and I'm looking for mail to colon, and I want to continue where I left off. So I'm going to start at, I think, in string plus 1. I believe that'll work like that. So this will find the next mail to. Let me save that and run it. And it goes through. The question is whether it got the last one or not. Missions. Did get Yabara, which I'm assuming is the last one. Where in the world's that page? Just closed it. Control click to follow the link. Actually, that was it right there. But anyway, let's see. Go down to Y. Yabara here, but even more than that, there's an admissions at cali.edu down here that it retrieved. Does that make sense on what that harvester's doing? Yeah. And how it works and so forth. Now, this is based upon the fact that there's a pattern. For example, if I wanted to go out there and retrieve all the jobs, let's see, Indeed, programming. See how these all look like they follow a certain pattern? So I could develop my own website, and they do this, and they have ways to block you from doing it. But I could develop my own website of job listings and have it harvest jobs from multiple places. So if I put that in there, and of course that would screw this up, but let me create a different button. Common controls. Okay, right click on that, choose properties. Emails. This one would be jobs. And grab this. Okay. Now the idea would be that but the user would enter in programming. So I'd have my own text field in programming. And then based upon that, I would go out and harvest all the jobs that are programming from Indeed, from Monster to what other job sites are there? Dice.com. So I'd go out there and I'd get whatever I want. I'd have to have a pattern to these. Software development engineer. So if I right click on this and say view page source, software development, title might be a good one. Title and single quote. Notice what they've done on this. Looks like they've encrypted it in somehow, haven't they? Unless I'm just missing it. Yeah, because it looks like they have maybe this link here that might pull the description, but then they've encrypted it so that, well, I mean, I guess I copy that. But then the question becomes, how in the world do they retrieve? See, and I'm assuming this right here is this part right here. But then they pass that into job map 0. Unless it's down here and I'm just not seeing it. Let's see. Software development engineer, Control F. Software. Let's see if I can spell. Development engineer. Oh, wait. I lie. Sort of looks like. If I just search for the words, working knowledge. Oh, there it is. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, so it is here. But it doesn't look like it's as easy to harvest it as it would be the email address. Email addresses are real easy. You saw how that was. I've used the email address example for quite a while for that reason. That's just, what is it? 5 lines of code and a while loop, and then you have it. I guess a couple up here, but oh well. That'd take me too long to actually figure out how to harvest that. So definitely, I could probably, if I search for programming in Kansas, it'd probably be easy to harvest at least the titles. Banking software. Yeah, see, I could probably harvest the titles fairly easy. Now, part of the problem with writing a harvester is the email's easy if it's on one page, is this only has so many per page. I get down to the bottom here, and there's a link. Well, part of your program would have to either use recursion or just go to the next page, like this next right here. See how it says start is equal to 10? And we'll go to the next one, see what it says. Start equals 20. So by knowing that pattern, I could then have it go with a loop. I don't know if I can go ahead and do that part. Might be kind of fun. Copy link address. So if I put this up here, oh, it's right up there too. Whoa. Okay, so if I work with that right there, if I put 0 in, okay, so 0 starts with my first one, then I keep adding 10 over and over. So this will be my first web page I'm gonna go to. And get rid of that. Okay, so start off clean. Now I want to build a string for each time. String web string equals copy that. What I'm going to do is kind of sloppy, like that. For int x equals 1, x equals 10, x is less than or equal to 60, add 10 each time. I would start at 20 though. Okay, so 0 there. And get response, stream readers gets that, string s read to the end. Like that. Rep string plus x dot toString dot trim. Sometimes when you convert a number to a string, or used to, they put extra spaces in there. Web request, web response, stream reader, response, stream. String s. And read to the end. Okay. Assuming I don't have to close the stream, then list box 1 dot items dot add s. And let's see, so x is 0, then add 10, it'd be 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, 60. I'm assuming it goes up to 60. It only goes up to 50. At least goes up to that. Or 200. Page 21. That'll be enough to show it anyway. What's that? What's wrong with that? Let's see. Web string is equal to that. I have no clue what that is. Okay, there we go. It's either returning a lot or it's not working. One of the two. You're right. Is there stuff there? Yeah, it looks like it went through and created as many as I needed, but they're blank. Got my web string. Yes. Yes equals to web string plus x dot toString dot trim. And this box one dot items dot add new string. Try number 2. 0, 10, 30, 40. Okay, so it's almost appears like it's working. But it's not retrieving it. That's interesting. How did I get that? News. News is right here. Okay, so I returned something from my browser. So the URL is correct, the URL. Do a web request. Not that matters, but let me put news here. Get response. Okay. Request. Do this. Unless the fact that it's an HTTPS and it's got security behind it. Let's see what I get when I get to the response. Okay, response. Response stream. How bizarre. That's all right there. I see all the HTML. Then I go to add it, listbox1.items.add, but I can't see it. I shouldn't because I declared it as a string up here. Huh. That is totally bizarre because it's returning it, correct? How about a message box? Message box S. It's not message box. What was it? Show message. Message spelled out box. So I can remember the syntax. That wasn't it. Form1.message box. Okay. Show. It's been 10 minutes trying to remember how to do a show box or message show. You don't remember, do you? Message box.show method. Message box.show. Okay. Took me 10 minutes, but I figured out how to do the message box, maybe. Or maybe not. Huh. Oh well. It's retrieving it, which means if it's in a string format, I could parse it apart. But that's just not allowing me to display it in a list box for whatever reason. Somewhere is a web browser, a browser of some sort. Web browser. What's property on it though? There it is. Okay. Web browser 1.0. Browser 1 dot URL. Browser 1 dot URL equals to news. System URI dot oh, okay. Set hits the absolute I don't want to get, I want to set. Oh well. I'm running out of time. Obviously, I'm not gonna figure out why Indeed's not letting me harvest their job ads, but you get the idea. And so there's a lot of uses for going with web request, web response, and implementing it. Sometimes valid, sometimes just knowing what people are out there doing. And like, what do you think I could do with a program like an ASP.NET program or even just any program? If I want to bring down somebody's website, what could I do? Yeah, yeah. Spam email links. I could have a loop in there, couldn't I? Such that I'm sitting there hitting their website over and over. It looks like they're getting 10,000 hits per hour, but that's my program going out there and doing it. So knowing how easy it is to go out there and submit these web requests and so forth and getting response and all that, that helps you to realize from a programming standpoint, how can they bring you down. You would, you would have pretty good connection. Um, yeah, we would at Cali here. And it hasn't happened since we got our new IT staff. I tell you, this IT staff that we have now is fantastic. But it used to be that people would hack into us and they would use our servers to send out their spam. So they put a program out there of some sort running on our servers, and I couldn't tell you how they did it. And it would go through and send their spam. Now, the reason why they did that is because if you send spam from your own servers, you get blacklisted. They say you're a spammer. Um, we got we got blacklisted by I think it was AOL at that time. They would not take any emails from Cali.edu. Um, and it wasn't that we were spamming AOL users. It was the fact that somebody had hacked in and ran a program like this on our server. You could always tell because the server becomes so slow, um, and then it would speed up, and then finally, a individual in IT told me what was happening. So anyway, I'll stop there. We're out of time.